Hello, everyone. It's Elena Bartash, real estate investor. Today is live podcast with another real estate investor, much more experienced than me,
Oh,
Nathaniel Hovsepian. Hi, Nathaniel.
hi. It's a pleasure
Um,
being here, Elena.
yeah, happy to see you as my guest. Thank you so much for your time and thank you for being here with us. So several months ago, I joined mentorship. Our mentor, Jesse Stanton, he
Mhm.
said us from the beginning, guys. Okay, you will see our community is awesome, and everyone is so helpful and so supportive. And actually, uh, one of uh, one of the people who I reached out to in the community was Nathaniel, and he and his wife Brittany. They are
Yeah.
so crazy, cool people. They are just our inspiration for all of us in our community. And thank you so much, Nathaniel. I learned from you so much. And thank you, Jesse. And again, happy to see you here.
Yeah, you may not realize, but we're learning from you as well.
We are learning from everyone, from all of
Yeah,
us, right? From each other.
yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much, Nathaniel. Could you please tell our guys who are watching us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so like you mentioned, I am a real estate investor. First and foremost, I am a husband and a father. I have two little boys currently, and we have another little one really soon on the way. Within the next couple weeks, few weeks here, Brittany is ready. She
Ooh.
wants them out. Yeah, so we're excited about that. Super nervous because we're going to be outnumbered. The two little boys that we have are already handfuls, so adding a third little human into the mix is going to be fun. It's going to be exciting, right? This is what I talk about all the time, is getting yourself into uncomfortable situations. There's going to be some uncomfortable. Um, but I was a
It's so
Marine. I
cool.
did I did the Marine I was in the Marine Corps from 2003 to 2007. I served one tour in Iraq. After I joined the Marines, I went to school as a mechanical engineer. That's actually where I met Brittany. I got my bachelor's as a mechanical engineer, and it's literally just a piece of paper on the wall over here. I haven't used
Oh,
the
wow.
actual degree for anything. Yeah, I will say, like, I use a lot of the tools and knowledge that I learned from just being able to apply yourself and right get things on a deadline, certain things like that from school, but the actual mechanical engineering, haven't used it at all. Um, I got into real estate investing in 2016 after selling a condo in California. It appreciated pretty well, and we ended up buying a property that we used for an investment in Oklahoma. And kind of that was what got me started down the path of real estate investing. I did direct to seller for um, 7 years. I
Oh,
wholesaled and I
wow.
flipped houses. Yeah, we did buy some in along the way, some long term rentals. We bought some houses that we sold on wraps, but really I was really focused on wholesaling and flipping until the beginning of this year, when we were like, why did we get into real estate investing? We got into real estate investing to buy properties, and so we finally like started with the end in mind now, and yeah, that's where we're at. So that was a
Cool.
very quick, yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's so cool. It's so cool. It actually, you already answered my second question. So,
Okay.
how come from marine to real estate? What was the motivation?
Yeah, it's funny. I attribute it to something my dad said when I was younger, like in my teenage years. We were playing Monopoly, of all things, and he was like, "Hey,
Yeah.
you're good at Monopoly," and kind of jokingly said, you should look into real estate." And it just was like a little seed that he planted, and he like inceptioned me, I guess, kind of, if you're familiar with the movie Inception. um,
Yeah.
he planted
Yeah.
this little
Yeah.
seed in there, and so I think when I bought the condo in Garden Grove, this is going back to 2012, I wasn't thinking about being an investor, but having
Mm.
seen the appreciation that this condo had in the 4 years that I owned it, it was like it that seed grew. It like watered that seed, so to speak, and like, oh wait, this is a thing. you can make money doing this. And after being in the Marine Corps and working a lot of different odd jobs and working for some good bosses and some not so good bosses, I knew that I wanted to do my own thing and I
Mm.
wanted to be an entrepreneur. And so real estate investing kind of, in a sense, fell into my lap. And very, very thankful for it.
You know, you just mentioned good boss, bad boss. Honestly, every single boss motivates us to start being entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
But don't tell anyone. I hate office job. I hate office
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
It's a cool. Yeah, it's a cool. So the main topic for today, and not only for today, my series has named the private money world. And I would like, Nathaniel, you to share with us a little bit your experience working with private lenders and private partners.
Yeah.
Uh, of course, everyone who just starting in real estate, especially in buy and hold business, we all are struggling to start meeting lenders, and especially in the beginnings, we all believe those people are from another planet. How we can reach them out, how we can start building relationship with them. Oh my gosh, what we should do. Now I understand there are the same people just like us. They are doing business just like us, right? And they want attention just like us. There are humans made from
Yeah.
bones and skin and with couple liters of blood. So do you remember yourself when you started buying whole business, and what was your first steps of, for example, to find lenders? And what is your favorite way to find lenders?
Yeah, my first lenders were family, parents and my cousin. Those were the ones
Oh,
that
cool.
we did when we yeah. We had done some flips at leading up to this, so we were confident in our abilities to, secure them as lenders, and it was only then that we had like proof of concept that we took it to our
Mhm.
parents and our cousins, and we did pretty well there. And I think that it's an avenue that we will lean on going forward. We haven't gone back to them at the moment because we're leveraging social media, just as you've done an amazing job using social media to grow your community, grow your lenders. That's the
Mhm.
main way. The main way that I'm reaching out to people is through, we're part of Sub Two community,
Mhm.
arguably the greatest real estate community on the planet, and that's where we started. And we've branched out to a number of different avenues. YouTube, like you're doing, and Instagram are big. Um, what the heck is the
Two.
word? Tools, yeah, tools, resources for, yeah. There's a
Yeah.
different word, not devices, but yeah, there's for reaching out to these people, right? They see what we're doing, they see the partnerships and the deals that we've already done, right? We're constantly trying to provide value, at least through, hey, these are
Mhm.
things to look out for as lenders, these are things to look out for as partners. Here's the benefits, here's the drawbacks, like all that stuff. And so that's my go-to is social media for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, it's interesting. So you do only online, right? I mean, your search, you'll find them only online. You don't do any specific capital raising like meetups or something like this.
I have not raised any capital from the meetups that we do yet. I actually host a monthly real estate meetup here locally to me, but I have not done any in-person capital
Mhm.
raising yet. The people that I have coming to them, I don't know if I just haven't felt comfortable, which we can talk about being uncomfortable in those situations, but um,
Yeah.
or if I just, some of them, I kind of know what they're doing already and where they're at in their journeys, which is a very big part of, capital raising, is finding out what the person's up to, where they're trying to go, and how they see themselves getting there, right? So a lot of the people
Mhm.
that I have at these meetups, they're doing similar things to us. And so it doesn't really make sense for me to try to talk private money lending with them, because like they're looking for private money lending themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I was listening several different capital raisers, and really every person. Hi, Derek. So every person find own way to start raising capital, right? Yeah. So I've heard some people do it even on LinkedIn. It's
Oh yeah,
funny.
yeah,
Yeah, they reach out to financial advisors, started speaking them, try to persuade them to diversify their clients' portfolio with real estate investment. It's interesting how everyone just does stuff.
yeah,
Do you remember our mastermind back in Vegas?
yeah,
And
absolutely.
everyone, yeah, after Amber McCollum's speech, I know all our guys, they were doing capital raising in Uber with Uber
Yeah, the
driver.
Ubers. Yeah,
Everyone,
yeah.
yeah, it's so funny. Did you have,
I
Nathaniel, any funny stories with? Yeah, go ahead.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, I think that if you're able to, I am a homebody, right? I do
Hmm.
98% through Zoom, through the camera like this. But if you're somebody that is going out and going to different places, in my opinion, that's really probably the best, right? You get to be what they
Yep,
call belly to belly with people, right? You get to have that
yep.
really personal connection. And so this is something that's on my docket to be doing, is going to places where I can actually meet with people. I think the best places are non-real estate things, right?
Hmm.
Where you're able to talk to other people. Hey, what are you doing as far as retirement goes? What do those types of things look like? How do you see yourself getting there? And then being able to present opportunities that maybe will be better than what they're currently doing, right? One thing that I'm going to be doing as soon as the dust kind of settles, I think, of the baby is Chamber of Commerce meetups, because
Hmm.
these are other people that are in businesses, and they want to see returns on their money, and how can we collaborate and create
Hmm.
partnerships and do things together where I'm able to bring opportunities to them that they otherwise wouldn't see, right? And then it's also just getting me out of my comfort zone and getting me out of the real estate space, because when we're talking to other business owners outside of the real estate space, it creates things in our brain that we're able to make different connections that way and see, like, oh man, I was looking at this problem from a real estate perspective, but I don't know, I needed a plumber, right, to make this
Yep.
connection and see how he solved a different problem that I could associate to my own problem. So, um, funny stories. I don't really have any necessarily funny stories with the lending space. It
Your
was
lenders are too serious, right? You didn't have any funny
what
stories with them.
it broke up just a little bit when you said it. What was it?
Your lenders are too serious.
Yeah, yeah.
You have too serious
You
guys.
know, I think that's something that I have, that that is a benefit to me, is that I'm fairly personable. I think that I'm an easy person to get along with and able to get along with a lot of other people. One of the people that we're in a partnership with, he actually made a kind of a side comment that, I would be a good con man, because I am
Mm.
very personable, and it got me thinking, like, I would, if I didn't have a moral compass on me, I would be a really good con man, because I can kind of, like a chameleon in a sort of sense, get along with a lot of different people, right? I think that that's something that I learned, from being in Southern California growing up, to being in the Marine Corps and being amongst a lot of different walks of life, and from a lot of different places. And so, I'm not a con man by any means, but I think, yeah, that's kind of a funny little story that he just kind of mentioned, that, like, con men make you feel really good, and they make you feel like your best friend. And I
Yep.
it's kind of a little bit of an innate ability that I have, just making people feel really comfortable. And so, like I said, if I didn't grow up in a Christian household that gave me really good, solid moral foundations, and I
Hmm.
didn't want everybody around me to win, I probably could be a pretty corrupt con man. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because still people, there are people, and we need. Okay, we all understand it's first humans relationship, right?
Yeah.
but there are still, and lenders and us, we all different. So how do you manage investors' expectation, especially if something goes wrong, not just like not according to your plan?
Right. Yeah, I think the the biggest thing is setting expectations up front, right?
Hmm.
How, especially from what the lender or partner is wanting, where are they at,
Hmm.
and where are they trying to get to, right? And then
Hmm.
knowing how they like communication is key. And so, how do they want to communicate? What's the best? Yeah, there's that word again. It's not device, but platform. Aha, platform.
Yeah,
What's
bingo.
the like what's their preferred platform? Do they want a weekly call? Do they just want a monthly or quarterly email just saying, "Hey, here's what's going on with the property," right? Knowing, setting those expectations and knowing what they're expecting up front, I think is the utmost importance. And then as things are transpiring, and if something does go sideways or not according to plan, they've got to be the first one to know,
Yeah,
right? As soon as I know something that's not what we've been talking about, like, oh, that's like you're on my call list. As soon as I have an opportunity or whatever the platform is that they want, like that's how we're going to communicate, and you need to know as soon as possible. I like to tell people, like, especially those first, the week leading up to closing, and then those first weeks, month or so afterwards, there's a lot going on. So do you want me to be giving you like a daily thing? Hey, walls up in this property, oh, the plumbing didn't work out the way we expected, this is going to be a shift we have to make? Or do you just want to see a weekly wrap up? How
yeah,
does that communication? So setting those expectations early and often is the best way. And then, knowing that things can change and they will change, right? We
yeah,
create partnerships agreements that they
yeah.
can ebb and flow, right? Just because we said something in stone, September of 2024 doesn't mean that by January things might have changed. As long as we can agree, we go back and we
Right,
change the agreement.
right. Yeah. Like last time, on my last podcast, I had guest wonderful guy, private money partner,
Hmm.
Justin, and Justin said awesome, awesome thing. He said, if me as lender reach you out first before you reach out to me, we have a problem. This is awesome, really. So we investors, we should make sure to predict, right, what they will need, our partners. Ah, hi Justin. Yes, you're smart and you know it. We should really predict what these people, how do they feel, what they need. And Justin, you mentioned another stuff. You mentioned emotional support, and I love it so much. Really, this is why we need to build relationship with our lenders first, right? To understand where are they with their emotions, with their expectations, how high level of this person nepotism, to
Yeah.
understand how
Yep.
much our lender will be nervous or not nervous, and to make sure our lender get information first. Funny story. I have one lender. He never wanted to meet in Zoom. We
Oh,
made one short call, and I said, "Do you want to meet in Zoom? Do you want to start us develop relationship?" He said, "No, I don't like too much speak with people. I prefer just send me your deals. That's it. That is what I want." And I know this person, he manages his own money. People are different. It's so
yeah.
funny.
Yeah. See, that makes me super nervous. I like it would make me nervous from the standpoint of like, I haven't talked to this person. How do I know that they're actually going to deliver on what they promise? Right. I mentioned it to
Yeah,
you. I still get nervous on my podcast. Like I set a 15-minute
yeah.
window before we go live to where, hey, let's hang out, let's talk a little bit. Like, and if it's getting 10 minutes before the podcast, I start thinking, oh shoot, are they going to show up? Like, what am I going to do if they don't show up? It would make me really nervous if,
Yeah.
we're getting a week before closing. It's like, I don't know, are they going to show? I've never actually talked to this person on the Zoom before,
Oh
but
yeah. Oh
um,
yeah. It's
you know,
so funny.
you mentioned a couple things there. I like, you know, managing the emotions of this
Yeah.
person on the other side of the thing is like a lot of the times we're not talking to somebody that has millions and millions of dollars and is just going, I just want to make money and do things with my money. Like a lot of these people, this is their nest egg, right? And they've worked
Yeah.
a long time to build up that nest egg. And it's like, I got to be very respectful that that's the case. And so
Yeah.
we got to make sure we do our best to make sure that like I'm going to protect that at all costs. And
Yeah.
if anything goes wrong, like they got to find out from me. The last thing they need to do is like get a phone call or a text from somebody strange or something like that, or it
Yeah.
takes 3 days a week for me to go, hey, a week ago this thing went wrong and we're gonna need another $5,000. Like, whoa, why did it take that long to like? You got to know right off the bat, hey, something's going on. I don't know any answers yet, but I just wanted you to know here's what's going on, right? And so I think that was really important. And I did watch the one that you did with Justin, and he said something that I had never even thought of, but it really
Uh,
triggered the seller, the wholesaler brain in me when I was doing seller calls a lot. Is one of the things that we find out when you're talking to a seller is who are the other decision makers in this process. And he
oh,
mentioned like one of the first questions you should be, does your wife know that you're going to lend on this deal? I thought that was amazing because like she it comes a week before closing and she's like, you're going to do what? You're going to put 50,000 of our dollars with this person I've never met? Like, forget you. And then the deal goes sideways. Right. So I just thought that was worth noting for anybody that didn't watch that one with Justin. That was a good one. He opened up the mind of a private money partner and lender, and broke down some
yeah.
numbers that you don't normally see from people.
Yeah, we really should understand psychology of our partners pretty good.
Yeah.
Even like Justin shared messages people send to him, right, together with
Yeah.
pitch deck. It's so funny. People really don't understand. They should at least give very narrow, very short description, or at
Mhm.
least what they want.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny,
Yeah.
but
It
that's
doesn't have
okay.
to
We
be.
all are
Yeah. You
learning.
think like, oh, I gotta sell myself in this email. It's like, no. If you've never talked before, just give them a snippet. If they're interested, they'll reach out. Right. And to each their own. Some people might see what Justin said in that and be like, oh no, I want everything. But I think Justin probably speaks to a lot of people that like, just give me the high level details here, and if I'm interested and I want to connect more, let's connect more.
Yeah, yeah, you're absolutely right. But you experience it. You already know. You have, you purchase several properties. You know lenders' fears. You know their psychology mostly, and you know how to communicate with them. You have experience. But what if you start speak with someone who doesn't have any experience lending money?
Mm.
But you see this person it would love to, and he has mindset. This person understands inflation is our savings, right? We need to save it somehow. So what would you do? How would you start speaking with this person?
Yeah, I mean, that goes for me. It goes back to what this person's trying to accomplish. Like, what are their year, 3, 5 year goals, and how does what we're doing, the opportunities that we're bringing in, align with that, right? If somebody just
Hmm.
wants to do zero risk, they just want to put their money in a CD and get the whatever the heck CD rates are going for nowadays, what I'm talking about is like is not helpful for them, right? So what is this person trying to accomplish? What are their goals? What are their hopes and dreams? And how can we
Hmm.
align with that, right? And then when you're talking to somebody new and there is some alignment there, I'm going to go, hey, should I just start sending you things so you can get a sense of what we're looking at? And I'm just going to try to provide as much value as I can to this person so they can start to get comfortable with what a real estate investment looks like. Right. And
Hmm.
I might show them a property. Hey, this is what we're doing right here. This is what we're looking at. I want you to see how the numbers play out. And then, you might not be ready to invest right now, but let me show you 2 weeks from now where we're at. Let me show you, 2 months into the deal where we're at, so you can see, oh, okay, that's how things progressed. right? And that's part of what we're doing with our social media as well, so everybody can kind of get a
Mm-hmm.
sense of that. But it's really building, cultivating that relationship with people that don't really understand real estate and don't know what to look at, right? And that's the reason we do weekly Zooms and things like that, so we can try to provide
Yeah.
the value and the tools to those people so they can be comfortable. And I always would recommend is like, don't come to my Zooms necessarily if you're trying to be a partner, or don't come only to my Zooms, right? Because I have
Yeah.
one perspective on things. You want to go get Justin's perspective. You want to go get Elena's perspective, right? So you can get a conglomerate of people that are kind of helping you along the way.
Yeah, very, very cool. Thank you, Nathaniel. And guys, for those who watch us right now and who will be watching us in recording, I'll put Nathaniel's Facebook link under this video on my YouTube channel, so you will be able to reach out to Nathaniel directly and to
Yeah.
ask him questions.
Yeah.
Cool,
And
cool, cool.
if you're seeing the video here, if you just go to this place, you can find all those links right here.
Yeah,
If you're
yeah.
watching, if you're
Feel
physically
free,
watching.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, how do you explain risks to private lenders to feel them to make feel them confident about your deal and about your approach?
Yeah. Fortunately, a lot of the people that I've spoken to and done deals with so far are in the real estate investing space. So it does make it a little bit easier to navigate those conversations from a risk perspective,
Mm-hmm.
right? Justin
Mm-hmm.
mentioned something on your guys' episode where you are looking to the loan to value. So if
Yeah.
I'm putting $100,000 into $100,000 property, that's 100% loan to value. A lot of the
Right.
deals that we're buying are over leveraged, which he called a toxic investment. So you're looking at
Mm-hmm.
what the future value is going to be, right? And so that's a risk inherently in itself. Is if something does go sour, either with the lender or with the borrower or with the actual asset itself, you're over leveraged on this property. And so one of the benefits that we pitch to lenders is like, you're getting a return on your money while being backed by real estate. Well, if you're over leveraged on a property, it's not backed by the real estate, right? It's not fully backed at
Mm-hmm.
least. So you can't just go sell the
Mm-hmm.
property and get all your money back out. So, that is something that we want to be very forthright, up front with, is that, sometimes these investments that we're buying are over leveraged. And while we do our best to mitigate all those by only buying properties that we can fall back on as a long-term rental to hold until things increase,
Mm-hmm.
only looking at properties that we are very confident with the hold strategies that we are going to employ, there's inherent risk in it, right? There is
Yeah.
risk that you go buy Apple stock, and I'm using Apple because most people know Apple stock, that tomorrow some really bad news comes about Apple and their stock plummets and you lose 50% of your investment. Is that likely to happen? Probably not, but it is a possibility. There are risks that you're going to put tenant in place and they're going to destroy the house and you're going to have to go and rehab the house, right? That is another risk. There is risk
Oh
with,
yes.
yeah.
Oh yes.
Very, very well, yeah. Like, there's a risk that you're going to do a short-term rental in a city that has not talked about short-term rentals yet, and 6 months from now the city is going to go, we don't want short-term rentals anymore, and so your strategy is kaput. And so, like, that's another risk. I forget what the question was. It wasn't just list out risks though.
Yeah. Uh, how do you work with lenders? If I ask you already about beginners, let's say
Yeah.
this. So actually, today I met one lady. She wants to do partnership with me, but she knows nothing. She just started, and I realized the level of my responsibility. But every time I meet such people, I deliver message for them, guys. I'm ready to be the best support as much as I can. But first, please take your private personal responsibility, educate yourself
Mm,
first.
yeah.
I send them many links. I meet them several times in Zoom, right, to explain them. But I'm still struggling how to educate them to underwrite properties.
Mm.
So what do you do in this? Do you send them somewhere, or you show them your calculator how you underwrite properties?
A little bit of both. I think that we will jump on Zooms with them, or send them videos that we've already done of us going
Mm-hmm.
through how we underwrite a property. Like if I'm going to send you a specific deal, I'll go, this is how we did it, and this is where these numbers came from, just to make you comfortable. But like I
Mm-hmm.
said a minute, like I could just go I could personally go make up numbers and so, hey, look here, this house right here sold for 300,000, so this house is worth 300,000. And if you don't know what you're doing, right, well, that house is a 4.2 and this house is a 2.1. You could be kind of have the wool pulled over your eyes, so to speak. So that's why I said, go to other people's Zooms as well. That maybe this isn't something that somebody that you're gonna partner with, but it's another resource for you that's giving you a set of eyes on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we're going and getting rehab or estimates for rehabs on properties, we don't just go to one contractor. We go to 3 to 5, because if I go to 3 and two of them are saying it's going to be 60 grand and one of them saying 100 grand, well, we have some sort of a disconnect here.
Yeah.
Who's like, I need to go get a couple more, right? And so and we do the same thing with realtors, with property managers, right? I want to get as many pairs of eyes on. So I would say do the same thing with the resources that you're sending, right? I'm a great resource for you because I know the value that I can bring. I know my experience and my level of
Mm-hmm.
expertise. But I also want to send you to Paces and to Jamil's and Elena's and right, and other people can give you a different set of eyes. So that's what I would say is like, do your best to give them deal by deal things and help them see each one that you're sending them, but then also send them, if they have the time, to go to other people's Zooms and to other resources to where now they can, see things from another person's perspective. Because
Yeah.
like I said with Justin, like I would have never thought of the wife being a deal breaker, right? I just think I'm talking to this person. They're saying that they have, X amount of money to
Yeah.
lend. They must have consulted their wife, but obviously he must be speaking out of experience, not
Oh,
to chuckle about
shoot.
it. But
No.
yeah,
Yeah. Communication is the point. You see, someone said there are no silly questions. Silly question is only the one who never been asked,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
The more question we ask, the
hundred
happy
percent.
we feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, have you been ever in situation when a investor, private lender, I mean, backed up out of the deal in the middle of process?
Um, yeah, not in the middle of it, but they we had one very, very recently that they made a commitment to us, and then they like within 3 days or 4 days they were like, no. We've been
Oh.
fortunate that we haven't had anybody get really far into the process, but it did make us have to go back to the drawing board and say, hey,
Mhm.
go reach back out to a bunch of lenders and say, hey, this one's back on the table. Essentially, we had pulled it off the table. So we have had kind of, I think, man, we're just quoting Justin a lot here. I think he called it, buyer's remorse, so to speak. Like they said they were interested, and then you sit and you marinate it and you're like, well, no, I don't actually want to do it. And so
Mm.
it is a reality of this, that people will make a commitment and say they really want to go, and then the things linger in the mind, and you go,
Mhm.
well, what else could I do with this? Oh, well, maybe I don't want to do this after all. So until the
Oh.
like yeah, a mutual friend of ours, Dan Grove, said, like, until the money's in escrow and we've all signed on the dotted lines and the ink's dry, like the deal's not done.
Yeah. Oh, you just mentioned escrow. Actually, and it's very. Let's go back a little bit to the topic of how we can protect our lenders.
Mm-hmm.
So, not everyone, especially beginner, realize they don't. I mean, lenders, they don't have to send money directly to investor. Correct? They always should
Yeah,
send money only to the title company.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if anybody's telling you to wire them funds, run away fast,
Yeah.
because you should be doing things through title or closing attorney, depending on what state you're in. And I also want to say for anybody that's out there that has not actually wired funds to an escrow or title company, call them up before you do, because
Mhm.
wire fraud is a real thing in real estate. I
Oh
don't know
yeah.
how the heck they do it, but scammers will be able to track the emails going back and forth between you and a title company, and they will make a legitimate looking email the day you're supposed to send wiring instructions, and they will send you phony wiring instructions. And so I tell everybody that I work with, if especially if you've never done a deal before, please call the title company. If they're frustrated with you for doing so, forget them. That's part of their job, is to make sure that you're sending wiring instructions to the correct place. Because the last thing you want to do is, you have $70,000 and this is your freaking nest
Yeah.
egg, and you send it to somebody who's scamming you. So, yeah, that's a good way. I'm glad you brought that up, because that is an absolutely great way to protect your lenders and partners.
Yeah. Absolutely. And plus, I receive pretty often question from lenders, from potential lenders, how you guys going to really to make sure we are protected, our funds secured, we will receive our investment back. So I find out that for many lenders, really important to see we build reserves. How many months reserves you like to have?
We like to be really conservative and go for 6 months.
Hmm.
What it typically were, well, yeah, we've done deals that we got fully rented out in less than 30 days. But there's a rehab period, there's a furnishing
Hmm.
period, and then there's a renting it out period. And those things don't always necessarily work right after another, right? It
Hmm.
might take a week after closing for my contractor to be ready to go actually start working on the property. We do our best to have the contractor ready to go the day after, but if they're working on another project and their hands are kind of tied there, sometimes you have to wait. And then after the contractor's done, you might not have the furniture ready to be delivered the day after they're finished. And then once the thing's furnished, like, is your property manager ready? Are they already marketing? So, long story short, yeah, we typically keep 6 months of holding costs. We're always going to do at least three. If it's like a turnkey long-term rental, we're
Hmm.
going to have at least 3 months of holding costs, because we're buying properties creatively. So we have a
Hmm.
note that is in the seller's name, either from like a chase if we bought the property sub two, or we have a note that the seller created, and that's our responsibility. If we can't
Yeah.
satisfy that note, like, this, everything else was a moot point. That property is not going to be ours for very long. So, and then we
Yeah.
have utilities and things like that that need to be covered. So we just like we that's part of
Right.
protecting the lender's money, is making sure that we have operating costs until this thing is rented out and we're making income.
Right. You just mentioned note. You mean promissory note, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
so when we're buying a property subject to, we're taking over a mortgage that's already in place. When we're buying a
Hmm.
property on seller finance, they're creating essentially a mortgage. The seller is becoming the bank on that. So there's a promissory note, there's a deed of trust, there's other documents that protect the seller in that case. Yeah.
Yeah. People should really, I mean, potential lenders who never done it before. Yeah, you guys should realize real estate investment. This is investment with high return, but you still should spend times to self-educate yourself, to
Mhm.
be able to take mature decision, to be able to underwrite property. Underwrite means to understand, is this property potentially business or not business? Will this property bring us, and you, of course, guys, cash, or it will eat cash? You need to understand. You need take your investor hand and say, listen, explain me until I will fully understand. Explain me how it works. Explain me all the numbers. Explain me what is PITI, what is cash on cash return, what is ARV, what is LTV. Explain me everything. Put this all information in my brain shelf to to make me feel confident.
Yep.
It's very cool, yeah, when lender is analytical person, right?
Yeah, makes it kind of. I like going back to the sending money to somebody. You should run away if
Mhm.
whoever's asking to borrow money from you is not willing to sit down and have those conversations with you. You should run away from them. Like
Yeah.
it's like writing on the wall saying that there's going to be problems down the road, communication wise and things like that. If I'm asking you for your nest egg and I'm not willing to go, hey, this is what these numbers are, this is where they came from, this is how we calculated them, all those things, and helping you to understand it, then I don't do a deal with them. Like, I just run away. There's plenty of man, we're going back to Justin again. I think he said like 10-1. There's a lot more deals out there. You will be able to find another deal with the correct borrower that you're going to be able to have a good relationship with. So if they're not willing
Mhm.
to sit there and explain things to you like I know you would, don't do a deal with them. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Very cool information. Thank you so much, Nathaniel. Lots of golden nuggets for experienced investors, for beginners. Anyway, uh, what what are the suggestion or advice would you like to give to people who just in their beginning of the real estate investment journey, to investors, to lenders? What are the most important to understand to start?
Yeah, I think that um, meeting other people who are doing what you're thinking about doing. So people like Justin, right? People that have lent, especially people that may have had deals that have gone south or sideways, that they have things that you can learn from, right? That you don't want to just be jumping into this willy-nilly. I have unfortunately met a lot of people that have gotten into different communities and have just been so excited to go do a deal that they almost, like, we call it commission breath in a sense, but they just they
Yeah.
just jumped into a deal without really understanding all the process and all the things that they should have done with their due diligence, and the deals went sideways, or they didn't fully vet the borrower, and they could have done a little bit of research online and see that the borrower wasn't already paying other lenders and things like that. It's like, partner
Mhm.
up with the people that you can trust. Excuse me. Or I shouldn't say partner up, but just go out and meet people that you can trust that have done deals in the past, and so you can kind of leverage them. Going to getting on podcasts like this and listening to people like yourself that are interviewing other people. These are great resources where you can just I watched the Justin one. I think it was an hour and 20 minutes. I watched it in 35 minutes because I set it on 2x, and so I'm able to just consume it really fast. And like I didn't miss anything, right? I just was listening to it on a faster speed. So go like listen to other Zooms and other podcasts and things like that where people are talking about these things, because if it takes you 30 minutes and you just learn one little thing from it, it was worth your time, because that
Mhm.
one little thing might save you a lot of headache down the road, right? Would I rather spend 30 minutes listening to a podcast that might save me 6 months? 100%. Right? I and from a lenders and partners standpoint, we want to, like, especially for the partner standpoint, like, I want to own the asset, but I don't want to have to control and do everything on the asset, right? I know that's
Yeah.
one thing that Justin mentioned on the podcast, is like, his time is super valuable to him, and he doesn't
Yeah.
want to have to be managing the asset. He wants somebody that he can bring in as his partner that's going to do what they need to do. He doesn't want to have to take control of the asset. That's not what he's investing for, right? I want the benefits of the ownership, but I'm bringing my money to gain those benefits. I'm not bringing the time and knowledge, right? Not the knowledge thing, but yeah, yeah. So I don't. Did I answer your question? Yeah, I think I did.
Yeah.
I get I
I
get
believe you. Yeah.
long-winded sometimes. Yeah.
Everything anyway. Anyway, real estate investment requires time investment first from the lender.
Yeah.
right? To self-educate, to understand what to know, what to understand, what to pay attention on. Yeah, when I just started real estate journey, my impression was, oh, lenders are really live of passive income. They do nothing. They just have money, give
Yeah.
to investors, and it's happy life. Yeah, it's happy life if you know enough to predict couple steps ahead. It's pretty much not bad,
Yep.
but you need to know. And guys, just wanted to mention then, me and Nathaniel, we are in on residential market. Excuse me, we don't buy multifamily so far. So uh, everything we're discussing, it's about residential, because I don't know a lot about multifamily. I believe that planning ahead has lots of different nuances, some specific. And if you want to start lending in multifamily, you probably will need to know something else. But just
I think
everything that
from
Daniel
what I hear,
mentioned.
stay tuned for that though, because you have somebody in that space coming up next week, I think, right?
Yeah, right. Oh yeah, next week, Vina.
Yeah.
Yeah, multifamily queen. Yeah, I'm so
Yeah, there you
excited.
go. Yeah.
I'm so
Yeah, that's a
excited.
testament to you, Elena, for providing the value that you continue to provide to people through your social media and through your Zooms. That people like that, you're attracting these bigger people, these opportunities into your world. So I think that that's one thing that should be taken away from this is that go out there and talk to people and have those conversations. And while you're providing so much value to people, you're also learning along the way from people like Justin, right? From now, you're going to learn
Oh
from somebody
yes.
like Vina, who's been doing this for
Oh yes.
at a very high level for a long time. So, like, go out there and have your conversations. And on the note of, learning and listening to podcasts and things like that, is I know time constraint is a big thing for a lot of people, and right. So, if you can just plug the podcast in, so to speak, when you're on your
Yeah.
drive to work, right? Listen to 15 minutes on your drive to work, listen to 15 minutes on your drive home, instead of
Yep.
listening to talk radio or something where it's, not necessarily going to move the needle in your journey. Like, listen to something where you're starting to learn how to do your due
Mhm.
diligence on these properties, and that's so you can kind of knock two
Absolutely.
birds out. Yeah, I don't know why I quoted it, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Like Amber McCollum said, nobody here to save you.
Nope.
Everything you observe, all information, all quality level podcasts, all books, all good mentorship, it's
Yep.
in, it's not
Yep.
out. So
Right.
right. Don't watch news. Don't watch silly, scary news.
Yeah.
Watch great stuff. Watch good podcasts just like this one.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Nathaniel. And I know that you said already in the beginning, another human being is almost here. Yeah, so guys, let's pray for Nathaniel's wife,
Yeah.
Brittany, for her easy delivery. She is absolutely cute and absolutely amazing human being. And there are just awesome couple and third baby. It's will complete their family even more. So let's
Yeah.
wish them the best. Let's pray for
Yeah.
them.
Little healthy human. Yeah.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Mentally, physically, from all kind of part of our life.
Yeah. That's all we're asking for. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Lord, for everything. For bringing us to this free world from our corporative space. We don't want to work for corporative, right? We don't want to be slaves anymore. We want to manage our life by ourselves, right? That is why we are in real investment
Yeah.
business.
Absolutely. Very well put. Yeah. I should say, if I've mentioned a lot that, you know, how I can provide value to you. Elena's providing value by having the podcast, by creating the posts on Facebook and stuff. She did mention that my Facebook page will be in the show notes, but if you just go to nathanielhovsepian.com, all that stuff is right there. There's ways to connect with me. There's other little resources on there, and it is slowly being built out to be better. Um, it's a work in progress, like our lives are.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nathaniel.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, awesome. See you soon on our mentorship
Oh
Zooms.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and good luck in everything. Say hello to Brittany.
I will. I'll tell her you
And
said hey.
again, thank you. Again,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much for your time and for all golden nuggets which you shared just with people.
I
Thank you
appreciate
so
you for
much.
having this and putting this on. Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you a lot, Nathaniel.
Bye, y'all.
Bye bye. Bye bye. Guys, I hope you got some golden nuggets from Nathaniel. He's a really great guy. He's experienced investor, and I hope our conversation is useful for new guys, for experienced guys. So we buy real estate investment in nationwide in US, and Nathaniel does his business. I do my own business. I have my team, which is growing. And thank you so much for being here today with me, with Nathaniel. If you would like to know more about private lending, how to become private lender and start investing in real estate, please reach me out or reach Nathaniel. We both are happy to be your support. My contacts are under this video as well. And thank you so much for being here with us. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.